All right.
Action.
Welcome. Welcome. It's your neighborhood nappy-headed boy, Data Musician on Instagram and on YouTube. I go by Kirk the God.
My Instagram is law.indy_ and law.indy on Snapchat.
Yeah, this is the Young Adults Podcast, the hub for spreading love, knowledge, and leadership. Yeah.
Said knowledge shit. You can edit this out, but what we talking about today? So we know what direction.
What are we talking about today? Talk about how tired of these niggas I am.
Okay,
we
no,
talked
seriously.
about that in the last
we
one.
talked about that the last one, and that one's gonna come out too.
Oh shit! I got it stuck back on here. Damn, my hook is sticky. All right, let's get more straight.
Be too close to another man. Don't touch me. They got my friend. Can't see myself.
Damn, we look the same height.
Yeah, we the same height. Until we stand up. My hips is gonna be way higher than yours.
Stand up. Stand up. No, they not.
Yeah, nigga, my hip go right. My hip go. You got the drip?
Mm-hmm. I'm dripping today.
Hello? Yeah. No, she stink. I play with you. Smell a little damp.
You got 2 socks on.
I got 2 socks on.
You got 2 socks, nigga.
Boy, you high as fuck. You still high.
No, I'm not.
You can edit this out, but you still high, nigga, if you thought that was 2 socks.
It looked like you had the 2 socks
Nigga,
on.
you can see the transition. That makes sense, really.
No, it didn't.
But, yeah, you're a tweak if you thought I had 2 socks on. This is not middle school where I used to wear 2 pairs of elite socks. I thought I was dripping.
So, yeah, I was talking to Lawrence about having a dating show-esque type episode where we get some lovely young ladies who are interested in this guy to come on, and we like put him behind the sheet. He's on one front of the other side of the sheet.
I didn't approve
And
this.
then he gotta like talk to him and stuff and answer the questions and that's going back and forth. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty dope. You don't gotta like actually date him or nothing at the end, but I think it'd be a cool episode.
This is entertainment, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that'd be fun. And you can pick the girls that you want it to be, and all they have to do is just agree to want to do it, and then we can do it.
Okay. Okay. You gonna come up with some questions?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay. Okay. Turn up
Yeah.
then. Okay.
You just gotta want to do it, and they gotta want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Turn up then. We can't post this.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
I'm thinking of something. Just nothing's coming to mind. We've talked about everything. The world is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Go figure. The world really been crazy. This is just a cycle of things. Like,
Yeah. It's a reoccurrence.
like our country's really young. So, in this span of a couple hundred years, there's gonna be a lot of wars. There's gonna be a lot of like disagreements in society, like huge disagreements in society, like what we have now. Like it's gonna be shit like that all the time. Well, not all the time, but you know what I'm trying to say. So I mean,
My
yeah.
mom wants to be on here.
On my readers, what's the cast? And say, wait, because you got a lot of stuff to talk about. You got a lot of stuff to talk about? Let's call somebody. Let's call somebody? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, who should we call? Let's see. No, let's see who should we Let me see your contact. Alright, just tell me who you think, and I'll tell you if I got my contact. But that's the thing, I gotta just look. You know, just tell me. Alright, now you gotta make me think. I mean, I feel like I can't go through his contact. But yeah.
Haters on it.
Has to be somebody with personality.
Bye.
Dang, no. Dang, yeah, you got that.
I said, no, don't do that. It ain't nobody.
Thumbing
Such
through
a
his
troll.
contacts.
Such a troll.
Them through my contacts, about to cold on my hose up. I want to have a funny conversation though. Oh, Erick.
This nigga's not gonna respond. He gonna be like, "Oh, I'm on the KS, huh?"
Gamble.
All right, bet.
And if he don't answer, call Demario.
That nigga might be
Hey,
Erick, you on the podcast?
welcome
man.
to the Young Adults Podcast. Erick, you are on film.
Oh, you got a great. Oh, you can't screen record it. They can hear us.
No, I'm not.
Bro, yes,
show
you
him the
are.
setup. Show him the setup, nigga.
Look.
What's good, man?
Nothing much, bro. How you feeling?
I'm straight, bro.
Are you? What's your hot take on the George Floyd situation?
Like any other black person, you know what I'm saying? It's frustrating to see that stuff like that still going on. You know what I mean? In 2020. So, yeah, it's just frustrating. It's really the only word I can use.
Yeah, that was something we have. It's more support than I feel like than there's ever been.
Yeah.
Even if if it could be a lot of
Yeah,
fakers
of course.
too.
But it's only, but publicity.
Publicity is really
right.
publicity, yeah,
It
bro.
don't matter. But yeah, that's all we.
How you feel about the riots?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, what-
How I feel about the riots?
Yeah.
I change my opinion on it like every day, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like on both sides of the fence with the riots, cause like,
We'll say what we want to
like
hear.
I'm saying, you know, I don't like, you know, like some people.
You pissed? You mad at that they doing it? I think the thing that oh shoot, what did you do, nigga?
My bad.
You such a head ass.
Wow, my nose hurt.
Adriana whooped your ass. I keep telling you that.
Yeah, I'm about to go. I'm gonna get her to go to jail. She going to jail.
I saw this video.
Like at the end of the fuck, my opinion.
That was Dayla, bro.
No, I didn't need to.
No, what I was saying was it's like a lot of the people is frustrated with the looting and stuff that's going on, and I think the part that frustrated me about it was that they do a lot of the people were doing it that's our age or were doing it in our communities, like they tearing down people's homes and stuff. That was like what being on both sides of the fence. That's how I felt about it.
That's why I'm on both sides of the fence. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, damn, we tearing down our own communities and shit, but like at the same time, like we've done peaceful protests for years and nothing's changed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So people's just tired of not being listened to, and eventually, you know, people's gonna bust, and I feel like that's what's happened.
Yeah, and people can't say it ain't work now, cause
it definitely.
it's a lot of stuff that done changed. It's a lot of
and it's actually working this
Right.
time, you know. So
it's a lot of stuff that done changed within a month that done ever changed about like hundreds of years ago.
I mean, the last time people turned up was the LA riots.
Right.
With Rodney King.
Yeah.
And then that little girl got shot in the face by that Chinese woman.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
that was the last time people really
Was going to sit
was
back and
going
let that
crazy.
shit,
Yeah.
Yep. You hear about?
I don't know if any change that came from that.
But you hear about on Juneteenth next week, Trump ass supposed to be going to the site of Tulsa and doing the what is it?
He's doing
Like
he's holding a rally.
Holding a rally, nigga.
Yeah, you know Tulsa. You know the story of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Black Wall Street.
yeah.
That nigga's holding a rally there, bro. The site of where it all happened on Juneteenth, the day the slaves were freed.
Oh man.
Like-
I ain't gonna lie, bro. That man has the biggest nuts.
Bro, he do.
I can't. No way, bro.
He know he's in a really untouchable position.
He really is. It is
Ain't
bad.
nobody touch him.
Blatantly racist.
Yeah, he don't care.
Ain't nobody say nothing about it, bro.
He a pedophile and he racist, blatantly.
Yeah, he's
And
a lot
he-
of stuff
And
blatantly.
if he
Like,
felt threatened, that nigga just gonna go right back into his bunker where he was about 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
Yeah, he's the most untouchable.
I don't think
He's the
safe
most
for him to go
untouchable
outside right now.
man in the world.
That's crazy, bro. Like it just don't. I don't.
So he can afford to have a mouthpiece like that, and ain't nobody gonna tell him not to because he fires every. Bro,
Anybody
does-
that's a threat to him, he's getting the FBI agent that was gonna study his cases fired the chief of them, got him up out of there. He knew he's about to
and
get
he's
fucked
using
up.
fear. So now that that's to happen, anybody try to like do anything, they're gonna be like, no,
Gone.
don't do that.
Gone.
Stop. Like, yeah,
Yep. Getting him out of there. It's
he's
crazy.
definitely
But it's not. But the country's not torn apart. I feel like the country's coming together to fight racism. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
It's just,
Everybody's really drawing a line where they stand.
And the fact that it took this long is crazy. But the fact that everybody, this is the most together I've ever seen the country. I think that in all 19 years of my life, I've ever seen it.
Right.
As separated as it seems, but as together as we are becoming, it's
you go to,
crazy.
you see these protests, it's black people, white people,
Hispanic,
Mexicans,
Asian, all them.
Asians, yes, everybody's there.
And you would think that
And
it would be
sometimes
more-
it's more of them than it is of black people.
It's crazy because you would think for the scenarios that's been going on, it would be more of us there supporting what's going on. But it's a lot of people that actually genuinely care and know that we deserve an equal opportunity and chance like everybody else. We ain't asking for no special treatment. We just want an equal chance like everybody else to be treated just like everybody else. And the fact that it took I think when it took that old man getting pushed the other day for a lot of white people to start seeing.
That's the whole point of it,
Yeah.
though. That's why Martin Luther King was like, "Don't hit." He was like, and like they would have those trainings where you would go sit down.
The city and stuff.
No, before you would sit in, you would have to go through a training
Mhm.
where they'll have people spit in your face,
Yeah.
cuss at you, beat you up, because he realized showing that brutality on the cameras,
It's
and
more
it being
powerful than
showed on
fighting
the
back.
news. Yeah, because
Yeah,
people
yeah.
at home that really don't think about it because it don't affect them.
They
They
don't-
look
they
like,
not listening.
dang, wow, that's really happening.
Yeah.
Because they either gonna be like,
Yes.
they deserve it or they don't deserve it.
And they tried to shut down that social media stuff because all them police was getting the videos was
Exposed.
getting leaked out. They had a whole page for people to send in clips of cops doing unlawful things to citizens and stuff like that. And a lot of them dudes getting fired. And I don't know if it's true or not, but dude that killed George Floyd
He's out on bail.
is out on bail.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Got $1 million. What is it? Like it was $1 million. Something.
Somebody
he
paid
ended
$1 million?
They ended up sending it together. Like the community came together and paid like $1 million and got
To get him out of jail.
Yeah,
And he was wrong.
yeah.
damn, I ain't hear that.
And yeah, bro, look on the news. And a lot of
And
people,
that's what we-
people wanted Cuz to get wanted him to get a first degree charge, but then realized if they didn't have proof to prove that it was
He could walk free of all charges. If
right,
they could prove it
premeditated,
was
he could walk free.
premeditated.
It's crazy. And it said, it's out there. I'm not sure if it's true or not, so don't quote me. But that I
Worked
think
the
you
same
mentioned,
shift as
yeah,
that
you
one
mentioned that he
dude.
worked the same
Yeah,
shift, so he
he
had
was-
seen him previously. But I don't
And
think
then
that's
somebody
enough to
else
prove
came
that.
out and said that they would fight a lot. Like they got into it
Yeah.
a couple times.
So, I
I
mean,
seen an article that said the dude was like aggressive toward him, so
right,
George like kept his distance from him. I guess.
still don't.
So he said he was
that's-
always type aggressive. You know what I'm saying?
It's just crazy, bro. That nigga walk free, and they trying to paint a picture on the news that all the protests and stuff is dying down, bro. Ain't nothing died down. They
that's
just
what
showing,
people like. Oh,
they just
y'all
choosing-
letting this die down, bro. No, it's
they
not
just choosing.
dying
They just picking and choosing what to show. They realize how big of an influence we had when they showed everything. So they picking and choosing what they want to show.
The riots have died down.
Yeah.
Yeah, the riots, not the protests though.
People
They said the
outside
protests.
every day protesting. Every day. There's no doubt about it.
It's a lot of police starting to quit their jobs too because they realize what's been going on and they knew what was going on, but it's just on a larger scale of they're being held accountable for what's going on.
Right. That's what this one dude was saying. He was like, bro, he was like, my buddy's a cop, bro. You know who the bad cops are.
You know.
So you can't really call yourself. He said there is no such thing as a good cop. That's
Right, 'cause
like
if you do something and I don't hold you accountable, I'm just as guilty as you are for not holding you
But
accountable.
this kind of like being on a football team, right?
Right. Yeah.
You know who's cancerous for the football team. You're not gonna be like, we're not all bad,
No.
but
You only as strong as your weakest link. So if the weakest nigga on your team or weakest nigga in your department is doing something that's unlawful or prohibited or something, you just as guilty
You
if
know.
you don't hold them accountable, let them know, or set them straight or anything.
But I think it also speaks to the disenfranchising that we've been through. Like this one woman, Candace Owens. She's a black woman, you know what I'm talking about, but she's really right. Like she do not fuck with black people
At all.
as much as she would probably say, she talks so much shit about how our culture is broken. Just she talks so much shit, but she made a point where she was like, we lift up the lowest in our group, talking about, and she was like, I'm going to talk about his record to prove to you guys that he was no angel or something along the lines of that. And it's just like, what does that have to do? So you're, first off, you're taking part in the media and disenfranchising. Disenfranchising is basically taking away somebody's validity. So when we say, we're going through this, and somebody's, no, y'all criminals, that's why y'all going through it. Because we've been criminalized.
Yeah. Painted a picture upon, so whenever, like, I know what you said, I don't know how to explain
That's what disenfranchising is. So that plays a part into the disenfranchising of us. Not even a person that isn't.
He's still on there. Can you hear us, Erick?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, okay, my thing messed up.
Yeah, not even a person in the United States that is a criminal is supposed to get duly processed or whatever the thing is. He's supposed to go through court just like everybody else. He's supposed to not be prejudged, all of that. So even a person that's a criminal, but that doesn't mean a person should have their life taken away at the end of the day. So it's like, why are you even arguing? Why are people fighting for these officers? So that's why I'm at the point where everybody knows where they stand. It ain't no more teaching. You know it. It's at this point, you know what's good and what's wrong.
And we knew ahead of time that that the police and stuff was, a lot of them support the KKK and stuff like that. But it's just
part of the KKK.
But it's just but what shocks me, and I think it shocks a lot of people, how openly they don't care now. But it might have been. But it might have.
Hold up. What you say, Erick?
I was just gonna say it's because, but as soon as Trump got in office, you know,
they all knew that they was good. Like, but it's crazy. Like, but you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's so crazy how like carefree that, like, how openly it is now. Like, I've seen racist motherfuckers, but it's like all of them, like the police that know they supposed to be here to protect us. That a lot of black people
not
don't
us,
not us. But I'm just saying, as far as citizens,
in general,
and even that, it ain't even. It's a quotation mark. But the fact that they doing it so like blatant, like they don't care, because usually a lot of the stuff they'll try to hide and sneak around with, but they are openly, like, dudes having swastikas and stuff on their arms and having KKK symbols, and I'm like, bro, it's just so blatant, like they don't care no more. Like, it's really a race war with the blue and black.
It is a race war. People are like, we're good. Y'all going to start a race war? No,
it's been a race
war.
It's just finally coming to the point where we really came together as a whole, and
I don't feel like we're not fed up yet though.
Nah,
we're not fed up yet. It's going.
You don't think so?
Nah, cause I
think
feel
it's
like
the first stage at least though.
Yeah, cause my thing is like, remember Tamir Rice got shot in the face, like
when
this.
Did that happen though?
Huh?
When did that happen?
Tamir Rice, when was that? That was a couple years ago, but he had a BB gun at the park and the police pulled up and shot him in the face.
Yep.
Like
Kanika Jenkins in Chicago.
That wasn't a police incident.
Yes, it was.
The police didn't do that to her.
They didn't kill Kanika Jenkins?
Kanika,
sure?
that was a bunch of other stuff, but that was her stuff. Wasn't her case wasn't thoroughly investigated as it should be. So the police were.
You talking about stuff that was?
I'm talking about the children.
Okay.
Like how they just had to end that no-knock warrant shit.
Right.
A couple years ago, a little girl bust in on a no-knock warrant and then held a gun to her chest. She was 3 years old. Yeah. They bust into that one lady.
They bust into that one lady. I forgot her name. And they let off 50 rounds in there and killed her. It was the wrong person. They was the wrong suspect.
That was Kentucky. That's where they had the note. Yeah.
It's crazy. You can shoot somebody
got
50
the law
times
named
and
after
it was a wrong. Yeah. And it was a wrong person, bro.
That's wild.
And kicked the door in, though. Wasn't even like I'm knocking and somebody answered and you thought it was them. You kicked the door in, saw it wasn't the person that it was, and still killed them.
That's
then they don't be in no uniforms, you know. So
nothing.
Like, how is somebody supposed to know who you are? You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's how you know it's profiling, and they try to protect it, saying that they feel threatened. But if you know that
I feel like they don't be wearing their uniforms and stuff, so people do shoot at them, so they can shoot
so they have a reason to, and then the person's caught up. They do that, bro. It's all part
it's
of
a trap.
It really
always
is.
A trap.
It's a lose-lose situation.
That's why they say lawyers will just tell you, shut the fuck up when you talking to the police.
Anything you
shut the fuck up.
Anything you use in the court will be used against you.
They could be like, hey, where you headed, man? And then you'd be like, I just was coming from my girl house over here. And they'd be like,
and flip it all up in court, and then you be stuck in the gym.
Right. We were looking for a suspect who said he was in this area, and this guy admitted to being like. That's why they just say, shut the hell up. They don't. It's not supposed to be a friendly. It's supposed to be a professional back and forth. But it's
at the point now that they know people know their rights and still, and still forcefully. Like, it was dude I saw in a video today. He had a firearm in it. He had a strap. Okay, a firearm.
But hold on, let me get back to my point I was making. That's why I feel we're not fed up. Our kids are literally in danger. The children are in danger. They're targeting children. They've always targeted children, though.
I feel like we're fed up. Because
I feel like you know how your family always talking about ain't nothing gonna happen to my kid. Ain't nothing gonna happen to my. You know what I'm saying?
But it happened.
Yeah.
Right, and they're not. We didn't do shit about it. That if that doesn't say we not.
I think if you're saying we're not fed up, I feel like if we're not fed up, we're not totally fed up to the potential of how much damage, so to speak, not like literal damage, but like how much stuff we can get changed around. Then we're within the first stages of that process. Because I feel like if we didn't,
I feel like after this and motherfuckers, I don't know. I just feel like black people, unfortunately, we are just the most whipped people.
Yeah.
Like we don't get rowdy like we should.
But
yeah, because we can't.
But that's in my video. That's why I said, what are you willing to sacrifice? I was talking to this dude the other day. Hood nigga. He was like, niggas ain't ready to die for nothing.
At all.
Niggas ain't willing to go to jail for nothing. It's got to be people that's willing
like
to
MLK
sacrifice
niggas. They were sacrificing all types of stuff. That would
MLK put children on the front lines where he knew they was gonna get holes down and stuff, just so he could push his point home. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. What are you willing to sacrifice?
Right.
We not willing to sacrifice.
A lot of people ain't willing to make that personal and it's a sacrifice. It is. It's no better way of saying it. But a lot of people ain't ready to make that personal saying. If somebody say we want you on the front line and you the one that's saying you won't change and you not ready to do it, then we ain't at that point yet. But until we get to the point where everybody is willing to go down, as sad as it is, not necessarily get killed, but get penalized or whatever it is, then I can see what you're saying there. But I think we in the first stage. We not scratching the surface of how much we gonna change around within the next few years. Because life before all this happened, that's like it's done like that.
You think it's done like that?
Yeah, I think everything, but I don't think we gonna go back to how it was.
I think also we wasn't old enough when Trayvon Martin got killed to see how the impact. Because what if it was just like this when he got killed?
I don't think so though. I was still on social media.
We was, but we wasn't on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, we was more.
We wasn't like really paying attention.
But I think they would have broadcasted that. I still think they would have broadcasted that. We would have heard about it.
I feel like.
Yeah, if somebody would have seen, the only thing why that Trayvon Martin wasn't
nobody was recording it.
Is because we didn't have any video evidence.
Exactly. You're right.
There was no video evidence. We didn't see it happen, you know. But we know what happened.
Right, we know exactly what happened. But that video. Yep.
We seen George Floyd die. That's
Philando Castile. We seen Philando Castile get killed brutally. What was it? Like 4 shots to the chest.
Yeah.
With his daughter in the back.
Yeah. In a car.
Yeah.
And
dude
that was running away from the cops got shot in his back on video.
That was another kid. He was like 15, 16, 17 or something. He got shot in the back.
Big dude that got taken down, got shot in his back.
Erick Gardner. Oh no, Erick Gardner didn't get shot in the back. They had him in a rear naked chokehold.
They shot him in the chest or something.
No, that wasn't.
That's not the guy I'm talking about then.
Erick Gardner, he's the one that sparked this whole where police.
Yeah. I'm talking about a big guy.
Yeah.
It was a big guy. Looked like they was at a mechanic shop or something.
Oh, never mind. I know who you talking about.
They had him down. And then dude, I guess he turned over or something. He really wasn't doing nothing. They shot him in the chest, killed him.
Yeah,
that was
so
on video.
I feel like, and social media was big this whole time.
It has been.
Now it's a lot of people. Like somebody says, racism has become a marketing strategy. That's no hot take. It's been like that.
Right. A lot of people manipulate it into just doing stuff because they know that if they don't, they're gonna get backlash.
They're gonna get backlash, and they know they're gonna get support if they hop on the train.
For sure.
So I think that's another thing. People are just marketing more nowadays. Everybody wants to be an Instagram influencer.
Right.
Everybody wants to.
But the problem it is with that, because it's a good and bad thing to come with that. We touched on it earlier. The bad thing is, yeah, you faking it. You fake it till you make it. But the good thing about that is, even though they not really. They might not be genuine about it. They still let millions of people, a lot of kids that are on social media are seeing this, and a lot of kids, unfortunately, are starting to really like. I saw a video today before you go ahead and do what you was about say what you was about to say. It was a girl. Police pulled up on her and was just coming to greet the little girl, and she started crying. She shot her hands up in the air. It was on Twitter. I'm gonna try to find a video so we can put it in here. But yeah, she literally shot her hands up in the air and started crying. She was like 7. So it's a lot of traumatic mindsets of the kids now. Like, it's been implanted, and it ain't nothing that we really can do about it, because that's what we teach our kids. I was taught, if I ever got in a situation with the police, I don't care how tough you think you is, you become.
It's a battle. You can't.
But it's not even a win-win. Because you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. And it's not every situation, but you don't know the probability. You know what I'm saying?
The probability. You don't know what
just
cop.
Huh? You know, it's not. I was just taught just comply. It's not worth my life. You know.
And it's not. And
but that's my thing. They say don't comply.
No, do comply.
Hold up. They say do comply, right?
Right.
I'm a citizen with no training, right?
Mm-hmm. But you're trained, and you don't know when somebody is threatening, like really threatening your life.
I'm trained,
right.
Whether it's martial arts or just being disciplined.
Okay, we talk about like a general citizen.
Like a general person.
Yeah.
Okay, they might show a little attitude because nobody wants to get pulled over.
They're not trained to have a good attitude or have a certain conversation with the police. Police go through a police academy.
They're supposed to be trained to handle a person that is a little irate or is talking back.
Exactly.
They're supposed to have the patience for that. They don't get that. Oh, they're a human being too. No, you're
no benefit of the doubt. You've been through months of training.
You need to execute your job. Nobody in the military gets that excuse.
Exactly.
Somebody fuck up in the military, they're gonna be on your ass.
Yeah.
Because there's accountability in the military for the most part.
And I don't know why they don't. Before you remember what you're about to say, so you can finish it. But I don't know why they don't hold police more accountable as like the military, and they're more directly influencing us than the military. I feel like because they're going around our communities. But they're not held nowhere near as accountable as people in the military.
Well, it's a lot of factors in it. Well, of course, anybody can be a cop. That's why you got motherfuckers that are neo-Nazis and shit like that are in the force, that are a part of the KK, that are in the force, that are fat as fuck and are police officers.
You're not doing that.
Why are you not fit as a police officer? I'm sorry if a person get offended. No, you need to be fit. Because if a motherfucker is running from you and you can't catch them, so your next idea is to shoot them, because that didn't happen too.
Yeah, I know.
You don't need to be on the force.
But finish what I was about to say before you say it.
What was I about to say? What was I talking about?
Talk about police having training, but citizens don't have training.
But yeah, we don't have. They're supposed to be trained to equip this. But like I said, and this one dude did say it, and this is true. Police are overworked and underpaid.
Right, they do.
And they're normally policing communities that they're not from, and they really don't want to be.
That's the problem right there. A lot of people don't want. A lot of the black dudes, you a snake or something if you go join the police force and stuff like that. But a lot of these dudes, if we were to get a lot of our brothers to come into the police force and get distributed back out into our communities, we already know a lot of the people that would be like that.
It's going to be easier to resolve conflicts.
You would be more respect.
I remember Mr. Davenport from he was like a study hall teacher
at Guyan. No, at Pike. Yeah, I know you talking about
Mr. Davenport. I remember what you talking about.
You know, because like a lot of these white officers go into those hoods, and like it could be just people on the block chilling, but to a white officer, they don't know what's going on. You know, so they
get out the car with their hands on the trigger, ready to shoot something.
Yeah, you know.
You sending somebody from Geis.
You know, it's just some guys chilling on the block. You know,
right.
They just
you shouldn't have a motherfucker that was born and raised in Fishers or guys
going to Riverside or some shit.
Yeah, policing Riverside. He doesn't know the economics. He doesn't know
how people act.
Like he doesn't know none of the
culture.
What's the word that I want to use? The
normity.
The sociology of the area, sociology and psychology of the area.
Right, exactly.
Right.
How people think, because somebody pull in there, a lot of the dudes don't even like go into them situations, and they still are forced to. So that's making them even more on edge than they would be if they even if they just stroll through.
You get the motherfuckers that's like, oh yeah, I can't wait to be a cop.
They already
do all of that badass
exactly.
shit that they see cops in the movies do. So you got people that's like that on top of all the other shit we just named.
So you see a black dude walking at you in the hood, the first thing that you doing is you pulling that gun out, you shoot him.
You gonna shoot him.
But
it's just a perfect recipe for disaster.
Exactly. And until we get to that point where we can get a lot of our people to start policing our neighborhoods, because that's.
I'm ready to. We need to go ahead and defund and abolish the police.
Yeah, because
the
we can
police
get a lot of those
was
people.
born from slave catchers.
Exactly.
That's
so they're built against
now.
us anyway. And a lot of those gangs and stuff that originated, those are the gang. Like before they start going gang for territory, they were policing their communities. So if we can get back to a situation, not necessarily gangs and stuff like that, but
like,
if we can have a lot of those
Black
OGs,
Panthers.
a lot of those OGs like that, and Black Panthers and stuff to start policing our own communities, we don't need the police. A lot of the police is well, not a lot of them. The majority of the reason this stuff is happening is literally because of the police.
Times is different now, though.
What you mean?
Back then, we can come together and be like, all right, we don't need the police. But now, I don't know if we can do that.
I can see what aspect you're coming from.
When the police wasn't like they had to be at the rallies and tend to riots. Look what happened. They had their deadliest weekend in like a decade because there's no police. So that's like a foreshadow to me of what will happen if the police is.
I feel like of course there's going to be chaos
it's a given, bro. It's a given.
For a little bit after a major change like that occurs. You have to give time for you have to give people time to settle in on the change and get used to it, of course, and for people to be like, all right, this didn't work out. That's how we experiment with things, but the change has to happen.
I think it's a given. If something like that were to ever take place where the police wasn't a thing, it's a given. It's a given. It's a lot of bad that's gonna come with the good.
But that's the thing. I feel like we're educated enough, bro. We're people our biggest thing is supposed to be education per person.
Right.
We are supposed to be educated enough to fucking solve an issue like this.
Exactly.
We're not so simple as to where we need the police. We can come up with a better community-driven solution.
Right. And more so, it's gonna be those fine line of people that don't. It's always gonna be those fine line, that gray area of people that's gonna do what they want to do. That's a given, you know that. But I feel like it's more so for people like us that grew up in a certain grew up black, that we have a certain way of thinking that all of us have, where we grow up a little bit quicker than everybody else, so we know certain situations how to handle a little bit better than if somebody were to step in and teach us how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but everybody don't think like that, you know. Some people.
That's why that brings me.
Black people could think soon as like say they do abolish the police, that could be a purge to them, you know.
Yeah.
Like, all right,
that's what I was telling you about the community that's in Minneapolis. The community was finna start taking over. That's why people start moving.
You know, so I just don't know.
But listen, that's why I'm saying we're not truly fed up with this. When we're truly fed up, for the most part, the people that don't know what to do with themselves are going to look for a leader first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. I don't think
there's somebody amongst our age,
like
I guarantee you, there is somebody amongst our age group who's listening, watching, reading, studying, and taking in all of this shit. Mm-hmm. So when we truly get fed up, people not gonna know what to do with themselves because they're gonna feel exhausted from trying everything, and they're gonna be on like the edge of despair, damn near. And then they're gonna be looking for somebody to lead them, and then there's gonna be a leader. That's why you have people like Martin Luther King, a singular person.
It's gonna take somebody from our generation to do it.
Yeah,
it's gonna have to be somebody that's more personal to us. And the fact that we're witnessing this, that it's gonna be more of a reason for them to listen when somebody our age does take stand like that. It's not gonna be
it's getting to a point now where my bad. It's getting to a point now where people's opinion, if you're 35 and older,
we not really messing with you.
Fuck your opinion. What you have to say is
And it's not like that, but
no,
it's
exactly
no,
like
but,
that,
but,
bro.
but a lot of them dudes, they have the
It's some people that mean well.
Right, but their thought process is from when they were kids.
Exactly.
But
it's a new age.
We respect that their opinion, but they know that we're not listening to what they talking about as far as the stuff that's going on because it's more personal to us. Like when you talk about what you talk about with your parent, with your grandma and them, what they said that one day about the stuff that's going on. She acknowledges it as a whole generation instead of like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like that's why the point of this podcast is because I feel like no, they do like that generation that's a little older than us, or that is older than us. Our parents and older got us all the way fucked up.
Yeah.
They think we don't know shit. They think we slow. They think we just.
Nah, I ain't not the slow part though, cause my dad he do agree that we are the smartest generation, like as far as this technology and stuff that's going on.
No,
like
and we are the smartest generation. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
We might not go about stuff the right way all the time, and I'm not making that as.
But that's
an
everybody
excuse.
though.
Right, I know that, but I'm just saying for them to give us that title and still go about and go against it and do.
But that's where I get that my opinion from. Really. What you have to say, especially motherfuckers that's not doing nothing.
We're the smartest, but we do the dumbest shit.
Yeah, we just go about it the wrong way. I can agree with that one.
And it's really a build up. The reason why we are is because of wherever the previous generation lacked in.
Yeah, we make up for that.
Family,
plus
there was a lack of family structure back then. That's why families are so separated.
And
that's why
parents
don't. That's why kids not listening to their parents because they parents didn't have a good family structure, so they don't know how to raise kids. Because the generation before that didn't tie all their loose ends.
All right.
So it's really just
it's a continued process that is gonna take a lot of
getting
healing
fucked
to do.
up.
Right.
So really, that's another thing. Y'all don't have to deal with this problem, and y'all might only have 15, 20 years on y'all life left.
Right, and it is what it is. Once you stuck in your certain way and you get to a certain age, bro, there's no change.
There's nothing you can say. That's why I'm like, we just really got to look amongst ourselves for a leader
that's gonna do it, and this is gonna come from our generation. Yeah. When it does, that's when it's really gonna take off because we really gonna respect the people,
and we really gonna be fed up.
Right, and we gonna be all bought in. I think
it's gonna be a point where everybody understands they got to sacrifice something.
Exactly.
Whether it's time, whether it's their life, whether it's money. Space, they're gonna realize that. Yeah,
that's very true.
That it's gonna have to be a hard ass person.
Yeah,
like they're gonna have to be hard.
I think it's gonna be a social, like a person that has a big following.
I feel like it's gonna be the modern day Avatar.
Okay, but do you feel like it's gonna be somebody that got a big social media following, or you think it's gonna be somebody that's just like?
No, I don't. I think it's just gonna be a person. I feel like they're gonna touch us in a way that we gonna connect with it. Like back in the day when Martin Luther King was around, everybody was going to church.
Right.
It would make sense that the leader of that generation and the leader that's gonna cause change was a preacher.
Right. So it's more of a.
It might be an entertainer.
Yeah.
That is on this shit. They just looking back and watching and waiting to get money and to get more of a following. It could be very well be that.
And not worry about nobody controlling what they gotta say and do. No, I totally get that. I think it's gonna be somebody that's gonna have a big social media following.
Yeah, and social media is
gonna. Might not like this, but we also need.
Hey! Hold up!
What you about to say?
Hold up! Before you say that, think about it. Hey, will I hang up on you for it?
Let me finish.
I don't know. What was he about to say?
All right.
I said I know they was not gonna like this, but we also need a white man to give us the push that we need. You know, like let me give you an example.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I was gonna hang up on you.
When Drew Brees said that, you know,
because we thought he was so in tune with the football community.
I don't know if y'all watch Undisputed.
Yes, sir.
Sharp covered this. He said that everybody was so disappointed at Drew Brees because you know he's one of the white men that's been held at a high pedestal in the black community for years. You know, he's always giving back. He's always doing good stuff for the community. And then when he went out and said this, it's like, damn, who do we have now to speak to those other white people that's like
stuck in their
ways.
way.
You know, high Like,
I understand what you're saying.
Nah, I
who's
totally-
who's hanging with the owners? Not black people.
Right,
It's
so we need that white
it's
person
the
that has
other
that
white
connection.
People, you know.
Yeah.
So if we can get people like Drew Brees to go up to higher rate white men and tell them, like, educate them on what's going on, because Drew Brees himself wasn't educated, but now I feel like he is, you know. So if we can get some more of those white men to go speak to other white men, I feel like that will also.
I understand. Hold up.
Let me say this real quick. The only thing that I have, the problem I have with that is, I don't think it's gonna be no time soon that situation might change when it comes to stuff like that, because I feel like once they already are a certain age and a certain social or
and are
social
making
class,
millions and millions of dollars off of it.
They're not
gonna give a fuck.
Right. I don't think they're gonna care. But I think it's gonna have to be sometime in the future where it's somebody, both another one from our age group or our generation, that's gonna do that. So I can agree with that. I totally get that.
I understand what you're saying too. You saying it's gonna take one of them to change them. But like I said earlier, and this is my rebuttal. Like I said earlier, this is a war we're fighting. Mm-hmm. It's not a very violent war, but it's a war of the mind.
Nowhere near violent.
It's a war of ideals. It's a war we're having. In war, everybody has their sides. Signs have been picked, and if we go to the liberation of the Haitians, if we go to the liberation of South Africa, if we go to the liberation of any of these other black countries or black nations.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying it's too late? Essentially, it's too late.
No, if we go to them, they took their shit.
Right.
They fucking took it. They wasn't relying on no white person. They wasn't relying on the people that were, even if unwillingly, oppressing them.
I don't think
they did it.
I hope you don't think he meant. I hope you don't think he meant as far as getting a white person that's like that status to rely on.
No, I'm not saying rely. I didn't mean rely in that sense.
Okay,
I'm just saying, I always felt all of our problems can be solved by ourselves. We just need a greater sense of community and oneness instead of everybody being individuals.
When we get to that oneness, I think that we're gonna be able to achieve that. But until then, it's gonna be a us against them. Until people look inward and see that it's really us versus us in a certain situation where we can change a lot of stuff.
I feel like that's going against everything that we're doing this for right now. The oneness, you know, we're doing this so we can all come together. Why separate ourselves from the other races? You know, why?
Because everybody else does it, Eric. The Indians do it. They have this. It's called group wealth.
Nah, it's not that. It's a sociology term. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Yes, Indian people.
Where they separate themselves and it's shown success in their communities where they separate themselves and get in areas. And
it's like with each other. One of the terms is group wealth.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The Indians who have gas stations and liquor stores in the hood. Listen, Eric. They have their own communities that they go to, that they put their kids through college.
Over there at Trader's Point, it's like a group full of it's a community full of like Muslims and Somalians and stuff on the other side of the street.
Right.
And they all stay over there.
They stay to themselves. They stay where because they have something culturally alike. And they know if they stick together, they can pull their resources and their money and their education together and keep the money in the community. Money in the community, if I'm not mistaken, only stays in the community for less than 24 hours.
Yeah, it's supposed to cycle 10 times before it leaves. And
in the Jewish community, it stays in there for like 36 days.
Bro, it stays, yeah.
That's why I'm saying we can solve all. Yes, we do. I'm of more of the teachings of like the freaking the like Nation of Islam.
Like Babylon, yeah.
They we can solve all our own shit. We just need more community.
We need people on board in more area, and that's what Black.
And it's no problem. Listen, look, it's no problem with us being with other people from different backgrounds. That's how you diversify yourself. That's how you educate yourself, by being around other people. That's how you become a better person. Right. However, it's when we do, it's never going to be a situation where one is under the other. Right. Each side's gonna have leverage. We're gonna be working together in something
instead of working for somebody, and that's what Black Wall Street was doing until they fucked this up.
They were so jealous of Black Wall Street.
They were so jealous that they knew that the money that we were producing and making wasn't going to them, that they had to go burn the community down.
They burnt the community down and killed people.
Yeah, because the money wasn't going to them.
That's the problem that I see with what you're saying. Yeah, I understand. It depends on the type of revolution you want to have.
Mm-hmm.
I want a more permanent revolution,
Right.
where we know
Permanent,
things
personal.
is going to stay and get better. Not something where they try to just appease us for a little bit and they switch plans and work towards some dirty shit.
Right.
I
hear what you're saying, but can we do that now? You know, back then, the black people was more. I would say
we're not fed up. We're not fed up no more, bro.
Look. I ain't gonna lie. We kill ourselves more than the police do, and that's a fact.
Don't hang up, nigga. You can't.
I don't want to hear that, bro.
I know what. Yeah,
I don't want to hear that. You can't be a black man to say that, bro.
Yeah. I don't like that excuse though. I don't like. Yeah, Erick. We about to talk. Erick. I didn't hang up, but I was getting ready to. But I don't. But
let me.
All right, we're gonna let you finish. We're gonna let you finish, and then I'm gonna rebuttal and you rebuttal. Okay.
No, that was that nigga. That wasn't me. I told him not to. I told him not to.
Bad spot. Y'all have to hear me out.
No,
okay,
that was that nigga.
All right.
So look, do we not kill ourselves more than the police do?
Yes.
Okay, we do, right? So I mean, can we even do something like that now? Because we hate ourselves sometimes more than they do.
That's very true. Yeah.
So how would we be able to even pull together and do something like that? I mean, wrong. I wish we could.
Education.
Like in a perfect world, I wish we could.
But I think back to what he was saying. I think it's gonna take my fault. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think it's back to what he was saying. I think it's gonna take and the fact that it might take more of a situation to happen than what already happened with the George Floyd situation. And that wasn't the only thing that happened. That just what sparked everything to start turning up. But the fact that I think it might take more than that, and I don't even know what could be more than that for everybody to start realizing that we really only have ourselves. And I think a lot of people, I think everybody realized that we really only got ourselves. I feel like that's what it would take for them to kill a whole bunch of us. Where it could be undeniable. I think everybody realized that. I think everybody realized that it's us that we only think we have. But I don't know what situation other than I guess that. But I don't want to even fathom that. But the fact that it might take that more for everybody to realize that we really need to start sticking with what we have.
Listen, so we're educated. We're all in college.
Yeah.
Have you took sociology yet, Erick?
Nah.
Okay. When you take when I feel like when a person takes, it's like you definitely should.
Yeah, it's a class. It's a baseline class you should just have for knowledge.
Definitely fucking need that just so you get a better understanding of how people interact. But the situation we're in, the reason why we kill each other more than other race, it's self-hate. It's cooked into our culture. Yes, very true. But you got to realize there's also people feeling like they're battling for resources.
Right. Because
they're in these more denser populations.
Right. In certain hoods, and they push
less educated because it's so dense.
Exactly.
And teaches too many students to one classroom and shit like that. So these people in that situation are literally battling for resources. That's what you do is battle, because survival.
It's survival of the fittest.
It's survival of the fittest. And we just have guns now. So it's self-hate. It's this survival mentality a lot of people have. Like, I got to eat before anybody else do.
Yeah.
What's going to take for it to change that is for us to just talk to each other. Love one another. Literally, love one another. Talking to each other.
And I don't know.
Listen,
hold on. I don't think you might. Before you say remember what you about to say. I just want to say this real quick. I don't think that it's gonna take. I don't think that everybody's gonna get to a point where we love each other, especially the people that are cooked in certain.
Bro, of course not. It takes one person. For me, us talking to you, for whoever's gonna see this, to talk and then having a conversation, it's gonna take just us being comfortable with talking to each other and showing love.
But certain niggas is certain stuck in their ways. It's gonna take a meet you in the middle type thing. We might not fully give you what we got, but it's gonna meet you in the middle.
I don't know who said it,
for a lot of people.
They said we not. This one person said we're not ready to take out our own. We're not ready to distance ourselves from our own.
For the people that's leeching, that's parasite, that's like
or that are cancer.
Right.
Who was the dude that had the slave revolt? They had that book, The Diary of He had a slave revolt. It was like one of the most brutal slave revolts ever. They killed like a bunch of people, and he just gave
You know, Erick?
I ain't gonna lie. Massacre ain't gonna happen in 2020.
Nah, you know who you talk about though?
I don't remember.
Bro.
I'm gonna say a name, but look, I'm gonna sound stupid if I say that. But I gotta look it up first.
You know what? Yeah, bro. Look it up. It was a slave revolt led by this. He was a preacher at first, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, I think it was after the first plantation they liberated, he got all of the people together, the former slaves, and said, "Who is ready to die for freedom?"
You was talking about that last week.
Right. Who's ready to die for freedom? Who says who's willing to fight for freedom? Who wants freedom? The people that did not stand up, guess what they did? They killed them. We not ready to distance ourselves from our own. That's another thing. That's a part of the sacrifice.
In 2020, that ain't gonna happen.
Listen.
I don't think it might. I don't think physically it's gonna happen,
Right.
but it's gonna be something mentally where I'm gonna have to cut you off.
We're gonna have to cut you off and distance you because you're not good for the community. Now it might be some cases where it do get violent, but you got. What I'm saying is It's a metaphor for how it could be.
Right. No, I don't. I agree
Or
with
an
that.
analogy. Like we're not ready to distance ourselves. Like my people don't understand why I could be so ready just to distance myself from family.
Right.
I feel like if we don't have nothing in common, I feel like if you ain't speaking nothing good, like if you have a really negative energy or negative vibe, and all you do is bring me down, and I don't owe you nothing, and you don't owe me
I
nothing,
can't stand to be around you.
there's no reason for us to be around each other. I don't give a fuck if it's family or not.
Is it Nat Turner?
Nat Turner, yeah,
Let's talk about him last week.
yes, Nat Turner. He had that talk with his people. They killed him on the spot. Because you don't need people like that in a revolution.
Halfway wishy-washy. You
Yeah,
need
that
somebody that's
wishy-washy.
full in, is ready to commit.
All the way in.
But no, I see what you're saying. It's gonna be that's a good metaphor for what it's gonna be. It's not gonna be physically. You know, like then again, you said it's gonna be some physical altercations that if that were to occur,
it's gonna be that way.
Right.
Like it's gonna be that way.
it's a given. Yeah, it's gonna happen, but it's gonna be more so.
Another thing we have to do as men is train, keep reading, and keep learning.
Knowledge is power.
Don't give in to our weaknesses, whether that be women, whether that be drugs. Like we gotta stay fit. Because if we don't stay fit, we're not going to be able to protect our family, which is the most important thing. Mm-hmm. When you just focus on your family and make sure your family good and the next person doing that, you also have our
leverage.
Are giving towards a better community.
Right.
So we as young men have to really be on our P's and Q's and preach that message to our friends and shit. Whenever we see our friends not doing right, we got to be willing to say something instead of being pussy about it. Cause that's another thing. We can't be pussy when we correcting each other. But that's really all I got to say on that matter. Like, it's gonna take a lot. It's not gonna happen all at once, of course.
Might not happen.
But I just feel like we're not fed up. When we fed up, we're gonna take action.
When I feel like this gonna be the generation that's gonna happen in, because we got so many. We have such a large touch with this social media stuff, and it's the largest. Are we the largest generation?
I feel like.
What do you mean?
The largest amount of people. Like
I don't know.
Any of this happens, we have to come together.
Yeah.
As a race first.
That's what I'm saying.
Take care of ourselves until like we won't get justice because we're still split ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
So how can we come together when we split ourselves?
Right.
So before any of this happens, I just feel like we have to come together.
No, yeah.
That's all I was pretty much saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because once we do that, we realize we're gonna have one common goal, and it's to get what we need, which is equality. And I think that everybody's
and it's either you went with us or against us at that point.
Yep. So yeah, man. That was a good talk, man. We appreciate you being a guest on the Young Adults podcast.
Young Adult, yeah, we'll send your royalties in the mail.
Hold on, get on camera, Playboy.
Yeah, on camera.
Shout your Instagram and Snapchat out, man.
What's good, man? Shit, I don't really fuck with the Instagram, but add me on Snap, you know what I'm saying? eGambino. Nah, E_Gambino. I'm out of it.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Peace. Appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna hit you up later.
All right. Let's get a girl's perspective on everything. We're gonna have the same exact talk.
Let's make another video.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in.
That was a good talk. Let us know what y'all think in the
started off
comments.
sloppy, but that was a good talk. You know what I mean?
In the last about 30-40 minutes, and I hope y'all enjoyed that talk. Comment some stuff that y'all want us to talk about, focus in. Let us know what your perspectives is on the stuff that's going on. Let us know any good reads or anything to keep us in tip-top shape mentally.
Oh yeah,
Stuff like that.
that's what we should start doing.
Doing book reviews and talk about books.
Book reviews, yes.
All right, we gonna cut it off. Appreciate y'all. Subscribe, like, comment, turn on post notifications.